Finding the why. Where am I going? Where am I going? This is the question that uh, people often ask when they start their journey to greatness. Perhaps when I started my journey, I mean, when I started my journey to achieve my goals, to go after my dreams, to live the very life that I have always dreamed of. When I started this, I um, I happened to ask this question to myself: where am I going? I need to know uh, the path that I am heading to, the destination, the place. At the end of life, when I am laid in the coffin, what would I have accomplished by then? Would there be a lot of people? Would there be, people talking about me, talking about my memories? What impact would I be leaving then? So when I started, I asked these questions and I imagined that. I think perhaps I got this idea of imagining the setting goals or setting this why the destination actually from uh, the Seven Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. And I happened to read this book recommended by one of my friend who Manoj, and the moment I started reading this, it began to affect me. I still remember the quote that I read that day. It was this: imagine you are walking into your home, into the living room, and there you see a big coffin surrounded by people, and you are lying in the coffin. And imagine what would be the opinions of others. What would the person, the first person, maybe it's your spouse or relatives, speaking about you? Would that person remember you for who you are? So as I was reading this, I actually thought about my dummies and the people who would stand by me when my body is taken from that coffin. So as I was thinking, I realized that there wouldn't be many people. In fact, I didn't have any idea what would my own people, my relatives, my family tell about me, because there was nothing much to be remembered. There was nothing much to recall. I the whole life I spent inside a small room. No happiness, no joy to share, no words to express. That was how my life turned out to be. And when I was living there inside that box, I realized my purpose in this world is to spread that love, that unconditional love toward other people, especially to people who deserve that, my own people. But I wasn't able to do that easily. It was kind of very difficult at the beginning. Having to grow up in a family situation where you are not valued, where you're not recognized, where you're not really loved, or you're abandoned. You feel always insecurities, you run away from your family, you run away from your relationship. And that's exactly what I did. I ran away from it. Although I was still living in that same apartment, in the same room, I was not talking to them. I was not seeing them. I was blind to the fact that I was a family member. And that was really hurtful because I wanted to be loved, appreciated, and I wanted to touch others. But I couldn't do. It's as if I was trapped inside within me, as if they were the four walls, constructed in front of me, that I was unable to express myself, who I am, through those walls. It was very difficult. And so that's when I realized, this the life that I am leading, it's not taking me anywhere. I wanted to have a new destination. I wanted to have a why in my life, and I wanted to do anything in order to get there. And for that, I need to break away from all the chains. And when I look around, I saw only chains. And it was hurtful. It was devastating. And you know what I did? I walked to outside that shell. It was difficult, but I walked outside. And when I was walking outside, there were 1,000 other chains pulling me back. Reasons, excuses, not to go out. But I struggled, and I went out, and it was the beginning of a real freedom, beginning of liberty. I was set free finally. I was able to fly again. I was able to laugh, see the smiles of my family members. And that's freedom. That's freedom. And if you don't have that freedom, I would say you need to check your life, your everyday life. What are the problems? What are the issues? What are the chains that are pulling you back to live an authentic life? We all want to live authentically. And we preach about living authenticity. We preach this in our institutions, in our companies, in our organizations. But when it comes to delivering that promise, authenticity, in our workspace, in our daily lives, for us it's difficult. Why is it difficult? So I tell you, let it out. Let your true, authentic person come out. Break all the barriers, break the chains. A few years ago, I happened to read a beautiful story. The story is about it's about the two people walking toward a palace, trying to find out the wisdom to live an authentic life. So they walked and finally reached under a tree, and they sat there for some time, and they saw the big palace out there in the wilderness. So they walked toward it, and it was built, it was surrounded by big walls. Once they entered into it, they saw all sorts of things going on there, all sorts of things. And they entered into the palace, and they walked, and they waited for around 2 hours to meet the monk who was who was sitting inside this palace. And after 2 hours, these two people, they walked in and saw the monk, and they asked him, "We wanted to have all the wisdoms, all the knowledge to live an authentic life. How could we live an authentic life? Can you teach us?" And so this monk, he closed his eyes for a moment and took a deep breath. And then he gave them 2 teaspoons of oil. And he gave those teaspoons to these 2 people and asked them to walk around the palace and come back. And to one of them, he said to see all these beautiful things that are surrounded with this home, this palace. And to another, he said to walk around, but never let even one drop of oil out. And they began to walk. And when they came here, he asked both of them whether they had seen the beautiful palaces, the beautiful things that he has built around. And the one who was told not to let even one drop of oil, he said, no, he didn't see anything. He didn't see anything. And he gave that three spoonful of oil into his hand, monk's hand, and said, he could not see any of them because he was just looking after these oils, not to um, fall. And he asked the other person, where is the oil? And when he looked into the spoon, he didn't find any oil in it. And the monk continued. He said, you know, the wisdom to lead an authentic life is this: we all have these three spoonfuls of oils in our lives. Those are responsibilities: responsibility toward our family, toward our society, toward our friends, spouses, and other people. So we all have these responsibilities, and we need to look after, we need to take care of those responsibilities. It is our duty. We cannot just ignore them because they are ours. Also, it is necessary to see around, to enjoy lives, to feel that joy. And he continued, he said, if you can balance these two things, enjoying your life and fulfilling all the duties, I think that's the true wisdom to lead a authentic life. So, when you set your goals, when you set your destination, you not only set where you're going, so you also set a course where you explore the adventurous path, where you enjoy. Maybe you might go through painful situations. Sometimes you might be, you might be witnessing something really awful, but sometimes you witness the most marvelous thing in the life. So when we have the responsibilities to lead a great life, when we have the responsibility to lead a family, to lead an organization, to lead, to do the work that we are given at our office, it's also necessary to enjoy the little things, little pleasures that we get in our everyday lives. So set this goal based on these dreams. But these dreams need to be set in a way that balances your life, your personal, your mental, your spiritual, and your material life. Of course, we need to have a material life. We need to have all the things, in order to have a more comfortable life. But when we set our goals, do not let these things take control of our life. Do not let these material things take control of our life. Instead, you need to have all the pleasures to enjoy it, but as well as you need to balance this with the right responsibilities, fulfilling your responsibility as a spouse, as a family man, as a teacher, or as a professor, or as a CEO of your company, or employee of your of a specific company. So while you're doing that, you're making a change. You're making how you live your life. So I just would love to ask you the same question. Where are you heading? Where are you heading? And some people often do not have any specific course. They just walk around and come back to the same spot, walk around, come back to the same spot, walk around, come back to the same spot. No idea where they are heading. So such people often end up in misery because they don't have anything to accomplish in their lives. And it's very, very painful, to have nothing to accomplish in life. Because one of the things that actually drives us toward to get this happiness is actually to have a goal to look forward to. Why do you need to wake up tomorrow morning? Why do you need to wake up day after tomorrow? Why do you need to hard work? So having this sense of purpose, sense of destination, sense of goals help you to become more focused, to lead a more better life. Now, having said that, it doesn't mean that you need to be completely focused on your goals. That's what I said, this balance. It's also necessary to enjoy your life, to enjoy the little things, to enjoy the time that you spend with your loved ones, with your little children, with your spouse, with your friends, with your colleagues, with your friends. So It's necessary to have such a time, as well as it's necessary to lead a better life. So find out the why of everything. And let me tell you this, the story again. Just walk toward your hall. Just imagine you're walking toward your hall. And imagine you are lying there in that coffin. And look into that coffin. You are lying in that coffin, in your deathbed. And imagine now people surround, the people that are surrounding you now. How many people would be there? What would be they talking about? What memories are you giving them back? I think if you can practically think this over a period of time, probably you will come across a better destination and set that destination, because destination is necessary. I just love to quote this Robert Frost. I shall be telling this with a sigh. Somewhere ages and ages ahead, two roads diverged in wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. That has all made all the difference. So, my dear friends, are you making a difference in your life? The path that you're taking today, is it making a difference in your life, in your personal life, in your social life? Are you making a difference in your friend's life? Are you making a difference in your family lives? Are you making any difference? If you're not making any difference, I'd love to tell you, take a pause. Take a big pause. Ask yourself, where am I heading? Am I going to the right direction, or have I set my course wrongly? It's not too late.